Pope Francis tells the elderly they are also the present and the future of the church.
Sono loro l'anello indispensabile per educare la fede ai piccoli e ai giovani.
The Holy Father spoke today to participants of the first International Congress on Pastoral Care of the Elderly. He said they are the link in educating children and young people in the faith. The Vatican Office for Laity, Family and Life hosted over 500 experts and pastoral workers from 60 countries to discuss the responsibility towards grandparents and their vocation in the church. Vittorio Scelzo works in the Vatican's Office for the Elderly and Children and joins us now from Rome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me today. Thank you.
Well, this is the first time the Holy See has organized an event of this kind. How was the outcome?
Well, we are really satisfied by the outcome of the meeting. We had here almost 600 people coming from every corner of the world, and all of them are engaged in pastoral service with elderly people. We had Episcopal conferences, association, religious congregation, and people engaged. I mean, it was really something that we didn't expect. We were waiting 100 or 200 people, and there were almost 600. It means that we were touching something important, something relevant that is relevant for the future of the Church.
I know your office is a recent addition to the Vatican. How do you specifically help the Church to care for the elderly and for children?
Well, I mean, you know that the Vatican cannot be engaged in direct pastoral service. I mean, this is a task for the Episcopal conferences, the diocese, and the movement, and everybody. But we can put on the table that there is a new issue in the Church, which is the pastoral care for the elderly. Pope Francis is insisting so much in defending the elderly from the culture of throwaway culture. I mean, we cannot accept people abandoned in institution. We should tell something very clear against institutionalization of the elderly. Every churchgoer should go and visit an elderly. Why shouldn't we have an elderly as a friend? Why shouldn't we go to visit the elderly every Sunday after Mass? This is something that can be very useful for the future of the Church and for the elderly themselves.
What do you think people can do in addition to reach out to the elderly, like you mentioned?
Well, I mean, first of all, keep your grandfather and grandmother at home, not abandon them. We are defending the family. We are defending the family, the sacred value of the family. In our family, there are husband, wives, grandfather and grandmother, and children, of course. In the family, there are grandparents. And this is something that we have to consider. Then we have to tell to the elderly that they should not think that when the work finish, their life of disciple ends. There is a vocation for the elderly. The Pope is insisting that the elderly, he told today that they are the future of the Church, not the past. There is a vocation. When you talk about vocation, you talk about the future. There is a hope that is announced for the elderly. They are called to move themselves, to outreach, to go out of the church, to visit other elderly, and to pray. Nobody is so fragile that cannot pray. Prayer is a vocation for all the elderly.
Vittorio, thank you so much for joining us. Vittorio Scelzo, Vatican Office for the Elderly and Children. Thank you.
Thank you to you and for all who are listening. Thank you.